Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Brand Marks the Spot, a show where I talk about all things branding, design, and life as a solo business owner so you can leverage the power of branding to impact more people and grow your business. And I'm your host, your brand buddy, Patrick Sesko. Whoops, let me get this here. There we go. Your brand buddy, Patrick Sesko. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Brand Marks the Spot. I'm trying something new here where I'm going to be incorporating some slides into the live show today. So if you're listening via audio only, you won't get those slides. But if you do want to get them, just head over to my Facebook business page and check it out. Again, I'm Patrick Sesko. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the 5 things you need to consider when branding your online course. So if you're an online entrepreneur and the chances are you are considering or already have an online course in your business, and I want to talk about these 5 important things you should do when you're branding your course, because it's not just about the visuals. And before we jump into it, this show is brought to you by, let me get rid of this here. This show is brought to you by my course creation mentor, Amy Porterfield, and her Ultimate Course Creation Starter Kit. This is a free 19-page PDF download that you can get. And if you're thinking about adding an online course to your business, or even if you're just remotely curious, then this is the place to start, where you're going to learn how to choose a course topic, what type of course to create based on your business, and what to name your course, and more. So grab this freebie at patricksesko.com/starter kit. Full transparency, I'm a proud affiliate partner of Amy Porterfield's Digital Course Academy. I'm also an alumni of Digital Course Academy, as well as a member of her private membership. Then she's just amazing. So I don't just share anybody's stuff. I only share people's stuff that I actually have used and that actually has gotten me results. And so check that out. She is absolutely amazing. And so let's get into the presentation here. Now, on with the show. All right, so brand is the place that you hold in the minds of your audience, right? So if your audience thinks a certain way about your business, then that's what it is to them. And one of my favorite quotes is from Marty Neumeier, who is the author of The Brand Gap. He says, and this is how he defines branding, he says, your brand isn't what you say it is, it's what they say it is. So you might be the greatest thing since sliced bread. Let me see if I can get my face in here so it's not just the slides. Let me see here. There we go. So you might be the greatest thing since sliced bread to one person and not so much to another. And that's what your brand is to those individuals. And you know what? They're both right. So like ideally, you want the former. You want the people who are going to think that you're awesome, and those are the people that you're going to want to attract. And that's what you do with your branding. And so that's the people you want to attract. So what do you do about it? So that's where branding, the verb, comes in, which is the act of influencing how you want your audience to feel about you. So the entire customer journey throughout multiple touch points in your business are the vehicles that you use to connect with your audience and influence them to either follow you or take action. So what are the vehicles? So let's get to the next slide. Let me move my face here. So the brand vehicles, and this is not an exhaustive list, but this is just some of the high-level vehicles that you use in branding your business as ways to influence your audience. And I'm not talking about trickery of influencing them, but I'm just saying, like, by saying things that are going to resonate with them, but they're still true to you and your values. So your messaging and your positioning, your brand personality, your brand voice, your core values, your why and your mission, your visual brand and design, your website, your customer experience, your workbooks, your PDFs, and your actual work, the stuff that you do for your customers, right? So where do you start? So we're going to start here with the 5 things to consider when branding your online course. So let's get to number 1. Number 1 is your ideal customer avatar. So you need to understand who your audience is and what their pain points are and why they are looking for what you have to offer, right? So if you have an understanding of the audience you want to serve, you can better connect with them. So, and this allows you to really amplify your message towards them because they will already be looking for you. So what is an ideal customer avatar? Well, ideal customer avatar is basically a snapshot of who your ideal customer might be. It's an avatar, a profile, and two of the main things that are part of your ideal customer profile are your demographics and your psychographics. Now, your demographics are the things about your audience that are sort of tangible, like how old they are, what's their gender, what is their career, do they have a family, where do they live, do they live in the suburbs or do they live in a big city, do they drive a car, what kind of job do they have, are they single moms? These are all the things that you want to take into consideration or you want to know about your audience, because those things will impact what you do in your business to help them. So if you just want to say I help women, well, what kind of women? Is it going to be single? Is it going to be married? Is it going to be mothers? Is it going to be career women? So you don't want to be too broad. So the demographic portion of that allows you to dial in a little bit or niche down, if you will, to a specific subsection of people who is your audience. Now, the more detailed you get, the better. And even if some people sort of fear getting too detailed because they might feel like other people who are outside of that definition are not going to be attracted, but that's not the case. The more you niche down, the better focus you will have in your messaging. And then the other part of an an ideal customer avatar is your psychographics. Now, this is where all the gold is. One quick thing about the demographics. Those are definitely important, but those aren't the end all be all. So those will definitely be important. So like if you're, say, a personal trainer, so obviously weight will probably play a part in that, or their fitness level. So those are things you need to understand depending on what it is you do, right? So going into psychographics, now these are the psychological side of your ideal customer. These are like, what are their problems? What are their pain points? And I'm not talking about just pain points of everyday life, although those can be useful, but what are their pain points as it relates to what you offer your customers, right? So in my case, I'm a graphic designer, so I help online entrepreneurs build effective visual brands to help them grow their business and impact more people. So, my people are not just entrepreneurs. They're entrepreneurs new to the game who are just starting out, and they need help growing their audience and increasing their credibility. So you focus in on that. And that's not to say that other people won't be able to be helped, but it does that. So the psychographics, again, are the pain points that pertains to what you're offering. What struggles are they going through? What is it about it? So if you're if you're a business coach, what are your ideal customers' pain points? So those are the things that those are the juicy details that will give you the insight into their pain points, and then you can appeal to them with your messaging and your offers, right? All right, so let's go on. The number 2 is your messaging. Now, your messaging is what you say, how you say it, and when you say it. And my friend Kate Dramus, who is an amazing copywriter, she says that your messaging is what makes the case for your offer. You should definitely write that down if you're listening, because your customer has a journey. They start off at a certain point and they want to know how you can help them. And so if your messaging speaks to those pain points and where they are in the customer journey, then you're going to resonate with them, right? So it's what you say, how you say it. It's a very important component of your brand. And the key here, and this is really important also, the key here is to not be contrived about it all, right? You want to tap into your natural voice and talk like you would to someone as if you were having coffee with them, right? So your messaging is one of the highest priorities, right up there with visual branding. And it's probably one of the most difficult to nail down, right? Because your messaging is basically what you say throughout your entire business, right? And now just a side note, your messaging is most likely going to be different from your overarching business than it is going to be for your course, right? So your course is going to teach a narrow, well, maybe it's a big course, but your course is going to teach one thing most likely, or one subject matter. And the messaging for that might be different than it is for your overarching brand. So think about it as, I'm trying to think of a good example here. So like if, okay, so let's say your course, teaches you one thing, right? So, and your course is designed for, say, newbies, like, so new business owners coming in versus another demographic, which might be a seasoned entrepreneur. My messaging is going to be different for a newbie than it is going to be for a seasoned entrepreneur, because a seasoned entrepreneur already has a lot of knowledge. So I'm not going to talk to them on, say, a 101 level like I would for a new entrepreneur, than something a little bit more advanced for someone who's seasoned. So keep that into your mind when you are coming up with your messaging. All right, so toying with these slides here, so please bear with me. All right, number 3, your design. Now this is the sexy stuff, right? So your brand visuals will reinforce your messaging as well as your personality, your tone of voice, all of those things, they all come together. And your brand visual, which is your logo, your colors, your fonts, your design style. And again, this should reinforce your brand personality and what you're saying to your audience, right? People are going to make initial judgments. Let me go back on screen here. Let's see here. People are going to make the initial judgments on your, so if they go to your website or your social media, they're immediately going to look at your brand visuals, the design. That's the first barrier to entry, right? And they're going to look at that. They're going to make a millisecond, split second decision on whether or not they're going to think you're credible or not. And if your design is great, that's awesome. You're past the first barrier. But if your messaging sucks, they'll get past the design, and they go to read the messaging, and then they're out of there because it's not resonating with them or it's poorly done. Alternatively, you could have excellent messaging, but if your design sucks, then that first barrier, which is the design, people are going to see this bad design or it looks really amateurish, and you're going to lose that credibility, and they're most likely not going to proceed and dig into your content. So messaging and design really work together. So it's very important to nail that down too. But let's see where I am. So messaging and design both feed off of each other. So it's important to nail that down. And like I said before, if your messaging, you could have different messaging for your overarching business than you would for a specific digital product, like a course, right? So you could have a suite of courses that could pertain to the newbie, the intermediate, and the advanced, or maybe the advanced is like a group coaching or a one-on-one coaching situation. So your messaging is going to be different for all of those three, right? All right, so number 4. One last thing about design. Your design should be carried across your entire business and all touch points in a consistent manner. Consistency is super important. And I know I say it's important about all these things, but it is important because your audience, again, they're making a millisecond decision on whether on how they're going to judge you. So whether you're credible or whether they like you or not. And you also have to expose yourself. No, you don't want to expose yourself now, but you have to be exposed to your audience 5 to 7 times at a minimum before they start to remember you and start to associate your visuals with your brand. So keep that in mind too, also as you are dealing with your design. And I'll show you a couple of examples as it pertains to online courses. So when this is a visual, this is the logo and the video or the mock-up of my last workshop, Nail Your Brand Colors and Fonts workshop. And as you know, digital products aren't really tangible, right? You don't buy a book, you don't get you don't buy a DVD or a book or any of that stuff, right? You just click on it and it's all ones and zeros, and they land into a folder somewhere on your hard drive, or you're part of some online course platform, right? So they're not tangible. So it's really important to showcase the value of your product by creating a mock-up, something similar to this, right? It gives your audience something tangible that they can see, and it answers the question, what do I get? What is this thing? What is it, right? So that immediately shows you that it's an online course. There's workbooks, there's PDFs, there's swipe files, there's templates. You've got this logo that's been consistently shown throughout all of my messaging, all of my visual presence, whether it's social media, whether it's sales pages, whether it's email. All of that was conveyed consistently and throughout. And again, 5 to 7 times you need to connect with your audience before they're going to remember your brand, right? So here is another, just a little close-up of some of the workbooks that I did. Again, same colors, same fonts, same design. It's all consistent. So super, super important. All right, on to number 4. Deliver. I'm going to move out that way. Deliver on your promise, right? A lot of people don't think about this because they're thinking about branding. It's just about the visuals, but your brand is the complete experience that your customer or prospect has in your business. So you want to deliver on the promise. So once you get them to a situation to where they say they buy your course or they buy your product or they hire you for one-on-one, your products and services should do what you claim they do, right? So this speaks to the quality of the work. It speaks to integrity. It speaks to credibility. All of those things are super important. So keep that in mind, because if you don't deliver on that promise, you may have gotten a sale, but what you're going to lose is you're going to lose credibility with that customer. And what happens when you have a bad experience with a business, right? You tell your friends, don't go to that place. Somebody spit in my food, or that guy like replaced my spark plugs with used spark plugs, right? Whatever, that's a real life brick and mortar store, but same goes for if you were, if you bought an online course and you take the course and it doesn't deliver on the promise. So make sure you deliver on the promise. All right, so let's go to number 5. I'm just checking here live, see who's in. Hello, everybody. If you can hear me, just make sure you say, hey, I can hear you. Looks like my sound is coming through, so that's good. Number 5, engage your audience. Make sure you're accessible to your audience and make them feel like they are your only customer, right? Make sure your audience has an opportunity to engage with you directly, because you can do this by offering live webinars. Like this is a live show. I could have engagement with my audience on here. Now I'm treating this as a show, so I could answer questions or something. If somebody has a question, I will be happy to do that. But the purpose of these shows aren't just for that engagement, but I have the option of having that engagement should somebody ask questions or make comments, right? So you can offer live webinars, where they can ask you Q&A, or you can invite them to a private Facebook group where they can have more access to you. Another way that you can engage your audience is comment and like on the posts that your audience might make, right? So if you post a picture or a meme or something and they post something back, you can either like it or say, oh, that's awesome. Or if they ask a question, you can answer directly. And if you don't know, you can send them somewhere else. So you're building that know, like, and trust factor from the get-go, right? And it lets them know that you're not just some automated pre-recorded thing that you're showing up on, and no Wizard of Oz trickery here, right? So those are the 5 things that you should consider when you are branding your online course, right? So it really gives you the idea, really shows you how powerful branding your course is, right? So it's important to maintain that throughout. And again, if you're starting a business and you're considering incorporating an online course, I mean, these tactics and strategies apply to any part of your business, but I really wanted to focus on the online course aspect because August is all about online courses with here at the Patrick Sesko. And again, if you're considering adding or curious about adding an online course to your business, this episode was brought to you by Amy Porterfield's Ultimate Course Creation Starter Kit. I highly suggest you grab this. It's free. She has a Facebook group and a boot camp that you can join right now. That's happening now and only happens once a year. You have access to her. She's live in the group. She's got lessons. You'll learn how to choose a course topic. You'll learn how to name your course. You'll learn how to price it, all of those things. So definitely check it out at patricksesko.com/starter kit. So that's today's episode. I really appreciate you sticking around. If you're not already a member, definitely go over. If you're on my page, you'll be able to see to join my group. But join my group, Brand Your Biz with Patrick, and you'll have more access to me. If you have any questions, I'll be doing some trainings in there, and I share a lot of things that I don't share out here on my public page. So go ahead and join up there, grab that starter kit, and we'll see you on the next episode. Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.